Hey everyone, good morning and good evening. Okay, so let's start with today's session and let's see what exactly we are doing today. So first thing first, let's go ahead and quickly create the VM again. It will not take much time, so let's go and create. So yesterday we spoke about what exactly is Linux, what is a kernel, what is a shell, and we went through some basic command of creating a directory, creating a file, reading a read-only file, and all this. Today we'll continue with the same set of commands. Just give me one quick minute. Let me change it from 1 to 2. 422 review and create. Perfect. Okay, so today we'll focus on more such basic command, followed by we'll see what is the file system hierarchy in Linux, and we'll see the editor in Linux. Okay, let me go ahead and create this. And we'll see what are the different types of editor we have in Linux and how do we edit files in Linux. These are the couple of things what we will see today. Okay, while the VM is coming up, anyone has any questions, any doubt, guys?
Yeah, please, I have a quick question.
Yep, tell me.
Yeah, so yesterday you spoke about the internal command and external command. Where can we
Correct.
find those external command?
We'll come back when I'll cover the next part, file system hierarchy. This part, you'll understand where exactly from where the command is coming up. No worries. Okay.
Thank
These are all binaries, so all the internal command will come it from binaries. External command where you install depends upon that. Mostly it comes from /opt. So those are the location where your command gets stored. Okay, we can check the location, we can check the path where the command is coming from. So don't worry, we'll come to that section. Okay, let the VM come up. Okay, we have the VM now, so let's go and log into the VM quickly. We have the public IP. Okay, let me just make it quick. Just a search. Let's see. Okay, I'm logged in right now. So as you have asked, let me show you how do you know from where exactly the command is coming up. So there are multiple directories wherein the command are stored. So one of the command is which will give you the path where exactly from where the command is stored and from where exactly the command is running. So if you see this user bin, this is the place where your date command is. Same like if you want to look into where is ls user bin. If you want to see where is move, this is all coming from user bin. If you go and look into user bin, basically the command is coming from bin directory, but there is a symling which is created because of which is showing this path. So I'll talk about hardling and symling later. For now, just to answer your question, your commands are there in the user bin directory. From there, you're getting the commands. So
you.
wherever you want, if you want to see any path of any command, this is the which command which you can use, followed by the command name, whichever command you want to find out. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but the problem I was having was when I enter uptime, for example, it
Okay.
seems not to show me nothing. and also man. Whenever I enter the command man, it doesn't show nothing.
Okay, so which version of are you using Ubuntu 20? Which version are you using?
Uh, I really don't know. Let me see.
Yeah, that it could be some old version because this is I'm using Ubuntu 20. If you want to look, it's cat etc os hyphen release. If you go to this section, you can see the version of your OS operating system. etc. So I'm not covering all the. I have not covered this directly. That's why I'm not covering all these commands, guys. So etc OS release will give you information about which OS version you're using, what is the name of the OS, and this is basically the kernel version which we are using. So this uptime and all these are all external commands. So in some cases, if you're not able to find out, then we can install these commands. These are all external commands.
So how do you install it though?
We'll come to the packaging part. Don't worry about that. You need to understand package manager, how do we install and all. For uptime, if you're not getting uptime, this should be there. If you're not getting, then I'll have to see what package we need to install. Okay, no worries. We'll come to the package management part. We can see how do we install all these commands.
All right, thank you.
No problem. So in Ubuntu, this is apt. That is the package manager what we have. So I'll show you later how do we install and remove and maintain packages. Okay, guys. So let's move on and let's create some more directory quickly to start working on it. So this is how we create directory, correct? If you want multiple directories to be created, this is you need to give the flag P. Okay, in that if you want to, so we have the multiple directory created. Now this is mkdir is to create directory. Okay, and touch is for creating a file like test1. This is the file which we have created with test1. ls-l is for long listing, just a reminder. Now this is for creation. How do we delete? Okay, if you want to delete a file, then the deletion is rm. Rm stands for remove and followed by the file name test1, and you can simply delete. Gone. If you open this file, there's nothing right now. The test1 is gone. Rm stands for deletion. How do we delete a directory? Then it is rmdir followed by the directory. Now the problem over here is it will not give you, it will not let you delete this directory because there are multiple directories. So this file one is parent and it got child directory also. So it will not let you delete the directory. Then how do you delete? I want to delete everything. Just imagine I want to delete the parent as well as all the child, whatever is there inside. I want to forcefully delete. In that case, there are flags which you can use rm-rf. F stands for force, R stands for recursive. You can use this flag. So it will, what it will do, it will go and recursively delete everything from within. Gone. See, I'm not getting the error now. It's gone. So this is a kind of, if you're using forcefully, guys, so this will go and delete things. Okay, so make sure you use it very wisely. Okay. Now there's one more very important command called grep. This is, you might have seen me using very wisely, and even this comes very handy when you're using any scripting. So this is basically mostly used in scripting. So grep, this is a grep which I'm talking about. This stands for global regular expression print. So what exactly it does, it will let you find a word by searching through all the text in a specific file. So if you want to find any specific word from the complete text, so grep can help you with that. Now, for example, what do I mean? Let's create a node.txt file. I do have some notes in my notepad. Okay, don't worry about this editor, guys. I'll cover this editor later. For now, let's focus on grep. So let me copy this all and put it
Grep
over
is
here.
working like Control F in Windows.
No, sorry.
Grep is
It,
working like Control F in Windows for searching for.
Control F will search a word for you. Not exactly. It is more prominent than the Control F, because Control F will give a specific word and it will try to match that specific word. And you can go do next. Yeah, you can say that it works, but this is more like word matching in text file. Yeah, Control F. Let me think of. Yeah, because if you do a Control F in Windows, and if I want to look for cherry pick word, for example, it will go and look for the word for me. So this will look for cherry pick, and I can go do next. Wherein in grep, if I look for this word cherry pick, it will get me the entire cherry pick. Whatever content starts with cherry pick, it will print that for me. Yeah, so very similar, very good observation, guys. So it's very similar to what we have in Control F in Windows, but I believe it has more feature uh, than this Control F. And this grep is used very wisely with shell scripting, guys. In shell scripting, you find out this grep getting used very wisely. Even myself, I use multiple times grep wherever I want to search anything on Linux. Grep is the key which I go with. Remember the mount command when we have mounted the file share, and I wanted to check if it is mounted or not. I was looking to the NF mount file through grep, and it was just filtering out. Yeah, one more thing, it will just filter out that particular line. Unlike in Windows, how it gets you everything, but in grep it will just print out that particular line. Let me show you. So if I just do a cat note txt, this is cat is what if you want to read only file, is it? And we got, this is the file which you can see right now. Now in this, if you want to see if there's any word starting with cherry pick, for example, so we do know that there are cherry pick words. So this is called as pipe operator. This is called as pipe operator. What does this mean? Whatever standard output you're getting, this output, whatever output you're getting becomes an input, and then we are writing grep followed by hyphen I will make sure there's no there's no case sensitive issues. Like if the cherry pick is written in capital, it will not give you an output. If it's small, then only it will give you an output. So if you want to avoid case sensitive, you make use of hyphen I under bracket, just have cherry pick. So this is the word I'm finding out. See, so unlike Control F, it will, you don't need to do next. Any word starting with cherry pick will get you the output. So these, in this file, I got cherry pick written 3 times. Now because of this I, just imagine if I just remove this I, and if I make this as caps, see, I'm not getting any output. So this I is also a very powerful option. So what it will do with this just I, it will make sure there is no uppercase or lowercase issues. Now there are a couple of things we have ran in this command. This is cat, which is basically if opening the complete file in the read-only mode. This is a pipe operator. So it is taking the output of this command as an input, and then from that command I'm running this command. Okay. Same way, there are like internal files. These are the mount files. Now in this mount file, what we were doing, if I want to look if there is any NFS mount, remember what we were looking, if there's any NFS mount during my Azure storage account session. So what I was doing, I was using this pipe operator using grep -i and nfs. I don't have any NFS because I have not done any network mount. But if you want to look something else like Squash FS, again a different kind of mount what we have. Yeah, we do have Squash FS mount. So this is how you can even read through the internal files. So grep, frankly, it's a very strong command which we can utilize. Okay, so along with grep, there are other commands like if you want to know the disk space. So there is a command called df. Df will basically give you all the disk and its space. But this is the spaces which you see, these are given in blocks, so we don't understand anything. So if you want to have it in human readable or you can have something like df-h. Then it will start giving you in gigabytes. So this is my actual space. I have a 30 GB hard disk attached to this VM. So 29 GB size, used 1.6 GB, available 28 GB. So I have 28 GB available right now. These are all temporary files created along with it. So this is the actual file dev root which we have created. So -h will give you in gigabytes. You can even also have, if you want to have things in MBs, then you can use -m. This got stuck. You can use -m also. So this will start giving things in MB. Okay, so this is overall disk space. If you want to know the file space, then you can make use of command du followed by the file name. So du stands for, this is mostly if you want to check the space of a file. Like if I want to have something like this, what is the space used by this file? See, if you want to have an human readable, this is very small file, so not much you will get. But let's see, 4.0 KB, kilobytes. So df fits for disk. There are multiple other flags also, guys. This is just one or two flags which I'm showing you just for FYI. There are multiple other flags which you will come across. Okay, so this is your du and dh file. Now, how do you monitor things in Linux? Internal monitoring I'm talking about, without downloading anything extra, any additional things. Internal monitoring, how do you do it? So we ran the command uptime, correct? Now the uptime is just a part of it. There is a command called top. So in most of this you will find top command. So the top command is basically will give you everything, like what is the CPU uses, how many processes are running, what is the memory uses, what is the swap memory. All this information will given by you. It will be given by the top command. Okay, let's go and see the top command. This is very important command. Okay, let's run the top command and see what exactly this top command. So basically, let me take a screenshot of this command and let's open this in Paint. Okay, this is what a top command is all about, guys. So now at the top, this is your system uptime. It is up from last 17 minutes. One user is currently logged in. This is the load average. This is first minute load, 1 minute load. This is last 5-minute load, and this is last 15 minutes load. This is what the load average. This is the up command which we ran just now. We ran the up command, correct? So this is exactly the same. Okay. Followed by you got number of tasks which is running on your system. So this is number of process. So this up command, if you want to relate it with Windows, so this is very similar to the task. What do we call it? Task manager. So it is very similar to what we have in task manager in Windows. If you want to know more about this. So it will give you all the processes which is running, the CPU and memory uses, everything. So this is very similar to what we have task command in Windows. Now you got total task running, one running task, 108 sleeping tasks. You got 0 stop, 0 zombie task. CPU uses, it is a user who is utilizing the CPU, is the system, is the nice, is the ideal. And this is for waiting for hardware and waiting for software. All these are, if you're, suppose there is no hardware or CPU availability, and if there are some process which is waiting for it, then it will come to this section. It will reflect in this section. Okay. Now followed by you got memory over here. This is the total memory. What is the free memory? See how optimized the Linux machine is. Okay. And this is used. Hardly we are using any memory right now. And this is in buffer. Same goes with you got swap command. Swap is a temporary memory, guys. So swap is a memory which is created on a hard drive itself. So this is basically giving more optimization to your memory. If you have low memory, then you can use of swap and you can create multiple memories. So in swap, all your temporary memory files which is kept in RAM, it's kept in swap. Nowadays, I do see this technology is getting used in cell phones also. I have come across multiple smartphones in which they are selling things with virtual memory nowadays. Virtual memory is nothing but it's the same concept what we have it in Linux. And these are all your processes which is running right now on the system. Who is the user who is running the process? What is the PID? Okay. And these are the processes which is currently running on your system. So this is a kind of a quick monitoring if you want to do on your system. Like if you logged in, suppose you're logged in on your Linux machine and you're debugging something, for example, you're debugging something and you find out there is a spike. The CPU is getting spiked up. The memory is getting spiked up. Now, how will you identify? So quickly you can come over here, you can identify which process or which application is services is taking up the highest CPU. So quickly you can come to this section and you can find out what exactly is wrong with my system. Then after that you can debug. Okay, why this? Like suppose you found out that HTTPD is taking, or Java process, one of the Java process is taking high CPU and high memory. So there's a memory leak which is happening currently. So now if you go and debug Java more depth, then you will find out that there's some issue with the Java garbage collector. Then you go and kill that Java garbage collector, or you try to rerun your services, or you try to debug. So this should be an initial step if you're debugging any memory spike, CPU spike, any processes running for a long time. So this is the command which you, and this command is basically will be available in all the Linux flavor. Even if it's the oldest flavor, this top command is the least command what you can have for monitoring in Linux. Okay. So let me close this.
So you know the top command is not working from.
Top command is also not working.
Yeah,
Please let me know the OS version which you're using.
it's Ubuntu 204. I think it's the same as the Windows 11.
2004.
Yeah,
And its top command is not working 2004. I'm using the same version right now.
yeah. For some reason, it's not. It's saying command not found.
See this. This is the command which I'm running. This is the Ubuntu machine which I'm running, and it has everything in. Okay, so we'll try this sudo apt install top. Run this command. Try to install top utility, but it should work. It should come out of the box because I've used this top command and older version, like I've used it in CentOS 5. Now we have CentOS 7 and more. Okay guys, try installing this if you don't have top command. Now there are some shortcut commands if you want to see what is the CPU, what is the memory. So ncpu is the command. These are all shortcut commands which you can use. Or no, not ncpu, it's nproc. So nproc will give you basically how many CPUs do you have in your system, and free-m will give you memory information. Your memory, what is the memory you have and what is the CPU you have in your system. Now, very importantly, CD. So I've introduced you CD multiple times. CD is for change directory, and if you use CD followed by this sign, okay, so this sign you'll get it on your keyboard, left hand side top corner, just below escape. If you do a shift, then you get this sign. This will take you to the home directory from wherever you are, whichever directory you are right now. If you do this CD and I see tilde sign, I think it is tilde, correct? Yeah. So tilde sign, it will take you to the home directory wherever you are currently. So what's my home directory? Home Valaxy. Again, this sign is used very wisely in scripting. If they want to throw back you to the home directory, or they even use such things, CD $home. Even this will take you to the home directory. Okay. Now, if you want to go to the root directory, okay. So this is, it will take me a home directory. If you do a CD dot dot, it will take you one directory back. If I do CD / dot dot, it will take me two directory back. Now where I'm into home Valaxy. Let's see where it takes us. It took me to the root. See, it's just a slash, correct? This is the root directory. Now if you do a ls-l over here, you will see everything. These are all your system directory. What exactly these directories are? What is important of this directory? Let's go and understand. This is very important. You need to understand this file system hierarchy and what are the importance of this directory, because when you will tomorrow start working, I'm not talking about administrator purpose. If you start working and start installing your application, you should know where the application will be installed, which directory should not be touched. And if you're setting up Linux from scratch, like you're installing OS from scratch, then you need to have such directories created. Okay, let's go ahead and see it. Now let's go and see. These are the commands given. So whatever command I have ran till now, everything will be given in the PPT, guys. I might have run more commands, but that's okay. Okay, this is what file system hierarchy in Linux is all about. These are the folders, directories, whatever you call it. These are something you will come across. The first is the root partition. So this is the root directory which will contain only the directory needed at the top level of file structure. Inside this is slash directory. So no, everyone will not have access to this slash directory. Even to enter the slash directory, guys, in companies mostly, you will the max you can the max you can do is you can go to your home directory. Okay, but yeah, if you are an administrator, if you have sudo access, sudo is super user privileges. So this is my Valaxy ID which I'm using. It has a super user privilege. It can act as a root user also. Like suppose if I want to log in as a root user, that is something we have not covered. If I want to log in as a root user, then I can just simply do a sudo su. hyphen sudo switch to a super user. That is what it's talking about. And if I do enter, it will convert itself as a root user. If I run the command who am I, you can see who am I. If this command is used for checking who is currently logged in. Now I'm logged in as root. Now if I want to exit out, come back to Valaxy, I can even check I'm logged in as a Valaxy user now. So this Valaxy user has root privileges. Hence I was able to go inside this root partition. Everyone will not have access to this root partition. This is very restricted. Okay, keep that in mind. So sudo, if you might have seen, if I'm running any installation command, like suppose I wanted to install, just for example, I wanted to install Apache 2. This is something we were doing. See, I'm getting an error. Could not open log file because only a root user can install packages on your system. Now, what did I say? Valaxy is a root user. So if I want to give a temporary privilege, I don't want to log in as a root. If I do log in as a root, then I switch myself as a root user. Then I run commands. It can have side effects. It can have security lapses. Always you should not log in as a root user. Whenever there is an extreme condition that you need to log in as a root user, then only go and log in, or else always use this commands. Sudo will give you temporary root privilege and it will let you run this command. See, the command is running right now. So sudo followed by the command will give you temporary root privilege. As soon as you're done with the command, the privilege is gone. So this is kind of a security measures also which you can take. But if you want something to be done as a root user, then you can use sudo switch user. Then it will take you to the root user. Okay, so just keep this in mind. I'm not installing this for now. Just keep this in mind. Okay, now this is the root partition, as I said earlier. Now followed by, you got this binaries. This is where the executable files are located, guys. This is where your executable file, whatever commands you're running, basically it's coming in from this bin directory. Now you said when you run the command user bin, now if you see something bin, there is a symlink created. I've not covered symlink, that's why I'm not talking more about it. So there is a symlink. So symlink, in short, it's just a shortcut created. So basically it is referencing to this bin directory itself. So user bin, whatever you see, it is basically referring to your bin directory. I'll cover symlink adding later. For now, just it's a shortcut. Whenever you run the command which ls, so it was showing you user bin. So that is nothing but it's a symlink. The actual full drive is this bin directory where you will see all the commands. So if you go inside this bin basically, and if you just do ls, you can see all the commands, guys, all the commands. We have not even seen few commands. It's all the commands, whatever commands you can run, this install and everything, tail, tab, tag, test, everything is there over here in the bin directory. Yeah, if you want to know the host name of the system, even that command is coming from the bin directory. If you go and see the host name, user bin, so it's a symlink. Okay, come out. All your binaries are there in the bin directory. Now followed by the boot. The boot partition is basically, it contains files for booting the system. So in order to boot your system, so all your important kernel OS related files are kept over here. Okay, so this is where your files are booted. Dev, this is device drivers. Like if you have seen this, when I was running the command df, what was happening? See this dev root. So this is your device. A hard drive is attached. Okay, if you attach any other devices like a pen drive, anything as such, so Under the dev partition, it will show you. Okay. Followed by home directory. So this is the directory which gets created. If you create a new user, this is the directory which you need to assign to the user. So all your personal files, things can be stored inside the home directory, and the user will have all the privileges inside this home directory. Okay, MNT, this is mount directory. This is the place where you can do a temporary mount, wherein you can use to do a temporary mount, like when you attach a hard drive, not a hard drive, when you attach a pen drive or CD-ROM, where do you attach? So this is a place where the temporary mount will happen. How you when I attach a pen drive to my Windows, what will happen? Uh, I think a F drive gets created automatically and it gets mounted automatically over there, depending upon what is the temporary mount we have on Windows. Okay, that the same thing in Linux. If you're doing a temporary mount, because this is just for temporary basis, you're attaching the pen drive, then later you're removing it. So this mount. This is the place where your pen drive will be mounted and you can access your files from there. Then this is your media. If you're attaching any media, then your media mount is also there over here. Then you got OPT. OPT is basically if you install anything third party. Okay, like if you're installing any third party apps, so you can have this placed in OPT directly. So this is for our use. If you want to have something placed in OPT in any directory, like suppose if you're installing some files and if you want to keep the zip file or anything as such, and if you want to extract that file, and if you want to keep the file copy and everything, you can keep it in your OPT directory. Some of your commands, like some of the external command is also coming in from OPT. The reason is because if you're installing some external software and if you want to execute this command, like suppose take an example, you're installing Git is a third party, correct? So you can install Git comes by default nowadays. So if you go and see the Git version, I've not installed Git, but it comes by default. I should see Git version also over here. Let's see Git V. So this is the command. See, it's giving you output that means Git is installed, correct? See. So nowadays it comes with a package only. Everything is installed. So if you have any external command which you want to store and run it, you can put it in OPT directory. Temp directory, as we know, it's a temporary files. It's keeping your temporary files. These files are only temporary in nature. If you reboot if you reboot your server, these files are deleted, guys. Keep this in mind. These are only temporary files. If you remove or restart the system, the files are gone. User. So this is used for miscellaneous purpose, and it can be used by many users. It can use this folder can be used by administrative command, shared files, library files, and others. So now even the user bin, if you have seen this, it was even used for symling purpose. Okay, so this is used for miscellaneous purpose. There are multiple uses for this user folder directory basically. Okay, then you got something called etc. etc is a supervisor directory command. So in etc you will find out mostly those commands which is used for supervising your Linux operating system. So such as configuration files, disk configuration files, user list, group, like all this information will be from etc directory. Like for example, like if I want to know the list of users, I can have cat etc. See, I can see which are the users. I can, if you want to have the name the group, I'll talk about this folders, guys. This is very important folder when we cover the user management. At that time I'll cover this. If you want to know about the groups, so all your supervisors, so basically all your supervisor commands in order to supervise your complete OS will come inside this etc directory. So your configuration file, disk file, user list, group, Ethernet, host, all this information comes inside this etc directory. This lib is a library file which is basically contains your library information. Followed by the where. Where is very important. This is the place where all your logs, system logs, application logs, all typical logs are stored inside this where directory. Important directives to from work perspective, your root directory, bin, boot, etc, where. And sometimes this is home, that definitely you'll be using it. This is if you are debugging any, and if you have any external application running, you may end up putting that files inside this OPT. Okay, so this is what the directories is all about. These are the list of directory which you need to remember what exactly the importance of these directories are. That's it, nothing much. You have to keep in mind what these directories are, what is the uses of this directory, and things like that. Okay, any questions, guys?
Can you please
Anyone?
repeat for the etc file system?
etc is basically this. These are all your supervisor commands are files are kept over here. So supervisor, when I say, it is all about managing your Linux operating system. So your files such as configuration files, user management files, group management files, all are kept over here. So if you go to the etc directory, for example, let's go to etc. See this file. You have your desk file, systemd file, sudo. Even if you want to give anyone the sudo, when I say sudo, that's the root privilege you want to give. You got the sudo file over here. You got the shelf cells over here. You got the SC Linux, that's a security. So this is basically all the files which is required for managing your super users, managing your complete operating system. You have your root RC files, everything. So password files. Password is basically if you want to have a list of users in want to find out who are the user, what are the list of users, then you can come and even view this file. So
Okay.
basically etc will give you everything which is needed to supervise your Linux operating system. It will have configuration file, it will have disk configuration files, it can have valid user list, groups, Ethernet, host, and there are many. There are many things which you will come across in etc. And these are all managed by root users. If you see the users, these are all managed by root users, these files. Okay.
Okay, and I have another question. Means if we install the IIS and or any Tomcat on the Windows server, the file directly go to the by default on a C drive, or also we can manually we can enter the D drive. And in we are installing in the like Nginx and any other tool in Linux. So which will be a by default part, means which file directory are selected then?
Okay, so the files, depending upon how you're installing Nginx, if you're making use of the package manager, what we have with Ubuntu, okay, that's apt, or Debian package manager if you're using, then it goes to directly to the command will go in the binary, and everything will be placed inside, depending upon let's see, it can go in the bin directory, it can go in the OPT also if it's an external command. Okay, and your command will be by default, you don't need to execute it, you don't need to set up any path and such, and it will start running, the commands will start running automatically. Most of the cases that is what happens. But if you're downloading some packages, for example, it's a zip file or anything, a tar file or tarball, if you're downloading any such file, so you can place this into OPT. Okay, that is the reason we have the OPT folder. You can place it into OPT, extract it, and then you can go and set up the path. Then you can go and, like, you can set up the environment path, and then you can start running the file. So that will come into OPT, which is you're downloading as an external package. And if you downloading anything as from the package manager itself, so automatically that goes into the respective directory, mostly into the bin. All your executable file goes into your bin directory.
So we are downloading on OPT and installing also in OPT. Am I correct?
Installing,
Means
no,
installing means extracting means the tar file. If
yes,
we
yes,
have
yes, yes,
a
yes, yes.
package for the Tomcat, then we have extracted in a OPT file. Then we get multiple file, and if we want to do some changes in the conf file configuration file, so we want to edit that file configuration. So the by default location is OPT.
Yeah, you should. It's not a by default. Basically, if I suppose, for example, if I go to my home directory and if I download the package over here, and if you extract the package itself over here, so it will come over here. You need to place the file in OPT. So extraction, you can do it in OPT, wherein download you can do in the temp directory. Why do you want to keep unnecessary zip file? And so basically OPT directory is reserved for installation of add-on application packages. Keep this in mind. If you have any add-on application packages which you want to install, which is not part of your package manager, if it's a package manager, it will go and automatically place the packages in the respective files. Okay. But if there's any add-on, like for example, Tomcat, as you said, if you want to download a specific version of Tomcat and you want to download the Tomcat from using the binaries, because Tomcat directly also using the package manager you can install. Okay, but let's take an example. You want to install it using binaries. So you can have the zip file downloaded in your home directory, extract it, extract the Tomcat inside OPT directory. Because if you keep it in OPT directory, all other users can also access the files. If you keep it in your home directory, no other user will be able to access your files. Why you're installing Tomcat? It's a web server, correct? You want everyone to have access to the web server, because if you keep it to yourself in your home directory, none other will be able to gain access to the home directory of yours. Tomorrow, if you want to restart the Tomcat services, you need to go into the OPT and you need to restart your Tomcat servers. So if you keep it in your home directory, only you will be over the person who can manage the Tomcat from there. So understand why exactly we are putting things in OPT?
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Anyone else, guys? Good questions. Anyone else? Okay, so that's why I said this is, if there's any third party add-on, if you want to download, then this is the place wherein everything will come. Okay, and extraction and all, zip file and all, keep it in your temp directory, guys, so that even after removed, the zip file is removed because you have already extracted it. So most of the article, whatever article you'll follow, you will see the zip file is getting downloaded in the temp directory only. Okay, so these are, okay, before, these are the different types of files which you will come across whenever you're working with. So these are the types of files which you will come across. As I said, if anything starting with D, that's a directory. Okay, anything starting with dash, that's a regular file. Now these are the files. Now let me go and show you. Where are we right now? In this we have nothing. Let's go back. Okay, if you see this, this is a directory. Okay, these are the directory files, and I don't have any basic file. Now if I create a basic regular file, like I do a touch, so that will become a regular file for me, test.txt for example. Permission deny because I am inside root partition. So this user does not have privilege to create files in root partition. So if you want to create any files, use sudo. A sudo user can create files in the root partition. Remember, guys? and this user has sudo permission. Now if you see this file, this is a regular file. What exactly this is? This is a regular file. All ordinary files, your script file, image file, video file will be part of this regular file. How do I know? This dash. I'm not talking about this. This is all about file permission, guys. I'm just talking about this part for now. File permission, everything will cover tomorrow. For now, we're just talking about this part. The first character. D stands for directory. This dash stands for regular files. Okay. Now sometimes you see L also. This is link files. These are your symlinks. Okay. How do you create symlinks and all? That is something we'll talk about tomorrow. For now, this is just a shortcut. The actual file is bin, and there's a shortcut created for the bin folder, user bin. So how do you create shortcuts in Windows? So like, so if I want to create a shortcut for this folder, what I'll do, I'll just create a shortcut. So I got a shortcut created. Okay. So if I open this file, it will open the same actual file, correct? This is what symlink is all about. That is what L stands for. Okay. So there's one more file called hardlink. There are multiple symlink and hardlink. So this L stands for link. What else we have? We got sock character device. Okay. So character device is basically if there's any devices attached. Then you can see C over there. This is very hardly you will see all this. Mostly you will see this directory regular link file, and you can even see socket file. So socket file is for inter-process communication. If there are two processes, these are all used by system, mostly by kernel. These files are mostly used by kernel and your applications. So there are two processes and there is a communication happening between those two processes. Then you will see something called this socket files. Okay. Then you got piped. So this pipe file is mainly named as. So if you want to send processed data to other process, then you can use this pipe. Like how we were using the pipe operator. What was the role of the pipe operator? It was taking the standard input, the standard output, and then it was eventually giving it to the standard, some different standard. It would take giving as an input to the grep operator. So the output was getting converted as a input for grep. Then we were getting a different output. That is what the pipe operator was doing. Similar thing over here, this pipe does. The only difference is it will allow process to send data to other process or receive data from other process. So inter-process communication, sending and receiving data from one process to other process. At that time, you will see this. Then you got block. Block and this character files are almost same. It represents device files such as hard drive, monitors, and etc. Block is basically your hard drive. So this and this is mostly the same, guys. Character device and your block device. So these are the file types, and these are the identifiers. How do you identify what type of file it is? And most of the time you will find out this directory, this regular file, this link file, and sometime if you are attaching any additional hard drive or anything as such, then you will find out this block device. Okay. And these are the command if you want to list only directories, to list directories. ls-l is more than enough. Understood? What are the different file types we have in Linux? How do we identify what is the types of file and things like that? If you want to identify what type of file is, you can simply make use of this command file. Like you can see, it's an empty file. There's nothing inside it right now. If you want to know, if you put anything, you can find out whether it's like what type of, like for example, bin. It's a directory. Now if you go and user bin, Again, it's a directory. It's a directory created, which is a shortcut has been created, a symlink has been created for this directory. Okay. Any questions for this file types, guys?
I have one question, means when we are creating any file in a directory, so
Hmm.
which is the extension? Means you are here, you are specifically mentioned it's a .txt file. If we are using just test, then what will be the file extension there?
It will be a text file only. It will be a simple text file. This is text just for showing I'm creating this text file. Now, if you just create any file with this text, let me just remove this first,
No,
and
means
let's
I
go.
am asking, means if we are not giving the file extension, just a text, then what is the means the extension their system is taking?
So it will consider this as a text file, a simple text file. So if I'm just creating anything like test, for example. So it's a simple text file which got created, no extension. If you see, there's no extension.
Okay,
This
okay,
is why
fine.
I'm very used to of this text file because I create notepad on my Windows. So I'm very used to of .txt. So that's why I always tend to give .txt. But if you create only this test, it will consider this as a simple text file itself, nothing else. This is a text file. This is very similar to this file. If you want to give any extension, then you have to go ahead and give that extension .html. Anything as such, then you need to give the extension that you need to specify what file it is. You need to specify what type of file it is. .css, .java. So in Linux, you need to be very specific what type of file you're trying to create. Make sense?
Thanks.
Okay, no problem. So tomorrow, guys, we'll focus on file permissions and we'll focus on user management and we'll focus on symlink handling and we'll focus on editor in Linux. So there are multiple things which we'll try to do tomorrow because editor is something you'll be using a lot. User management, how to create user, how to manage permissions, how to manage file permission and everything. What exactly these are. So this is something we'll see in tomorrow's session. Okay. If anyone has any questions, please do let me know or else we can wind up the call for today. Anyone?
So basic question. Actually, yesterday I missed the session, so just want
Mm.
to like package manager is what like guys we download in Windows we download any software from browser, right? Is the same way for package manager as well.
Now, when you download things from browser, that is external packages which you're trying to download. And the one which you download it from the Windows manager, the one which is Windows is managing. Windows also has a package manager, correct? From where you get all your .NET version and everything
Yeah.
pre-installed. Your PowerShell and everything gets installed. So that's a package manager for Windows. Same way, we have package manager for Linux machine. We got Debian package manager. We got RPM. RPM is a Red Hat package manager. Debian is mostly used for Ubuntu and all the Debian OS. And on top of it, we got APT, that is a package manager utility toolkit, which is basically managed. So that I do have package manager topic, guys. This is I've kept it for very last. See, we do have package manager. So over here, Alex, because this is kind of very important to understand package managers because you'll be working a lot with package manager being a DevOps engineers. So yeah, we need to understand this very wisely. Don't worry. So yeah, answering to your question, the one which you download from browser, that's a third party application which you're trying to download. That is not part of your package manager. Same goes like I was just giving an example. If you download a zip file of Tomcat or tar file, correct? So what you're doing, you're third party files you're downloading on your OS, you're extracting it and using that installer, you're installing it. You're not using the package manager of Ubuntu because if you use the Ubuntu package manager, Tomcat is there. You can just app install Tomcat. If there's any specific version requirement, you can give the version name. But yeah, if you want to download everything from binaries, Then you download packages or zip file from the browser. Let me tell you, this Linux package manager is more powerful than this Windows package manager. Windows manager is basically for whatever system requirement, those are the packages what Windows is managing, not this Ubuntu, Apache and all. That is, you need to go to the browser, you need to download it. But in case of Linux, most of these packages are available with the package manager. Your Apache, Tomcat, and all this, your MariaDB, MySQL, all this server. If you want to set up within by just running one single command, you can set this up. That easy it is in Linux. Okay, but yeah, if you have any specific requirement that I want to do things from scratch, I need to download things from binaries, I need to have this particular version and things like that. If you have any such custom requirements, then yeah, you still have an option. Go and get those right, a tar file or war file, get the right zip file, have it in your temp directory, unzip it, place the files in OPT, run the command manually, run the services manually, then start using it. Even that option is available. Like example of Git I gave you. Git is already there. Git is third party, correct? So this is all, it comes with a package. Even though if the Git was not there, for example, one single command can get you Git directly on your system. What we were doing, if I want to install Git in Windows, I was going onto the Git official web page. I was downloading the exe file, then I was executing. Correct? That is what we were doing. Yeah. So that is not there. So the package manager in Linux is very powerful. Most of your tasks will be done using the package. You can set up complete Kubernetes using package manager. That powerful it is. Okay. So don't worry, I'll show you all this. And this is, there is a topic, so I'll kept it for last. We'll do the package manager in greater details. We'll understand what is package manager, what are the different types of package manager, what is RPM, what is APT, what is yum. This is something you need to understand, the difference between how the packages get downloaded, what is the repo list and things like that. Why do we run the command apt update, what exactly is getting updated. All this we need to understand wisely. So this is something I'll cover in a greater details later. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, anyone else? Any question before I wind up? Anyone? Oh, my yesterday VM is still there. Okay, I got built. No problem. Thank you very much, guys. Let's meet up tomorrow and let's continue with this Linux basic. It's not advanced, but this is a good to know knowledge if you're working as a DevOps engineer. Okay, bye bye.